John Fredericks, you're back. Joining us now, Martha Boneta, live at the southern border, New Mexico. Good to have you with us, Martha.
Good morning, John. Good morning. We're here in New Mexico, and I'll tell you, it's even worse than I imagined. This is my third trip to the border, and there are places that I've been live streaming and live reporting. You can just crawl right under, walk over. It's just unbelievable.
Tell us what is going on specifically. Like, what have you actually seen?
Well, we met with a rancher family. They're a four-generation ranch family. Their family has owned 100,000 acres for 101 years, and they've been maintaining the fence themselves to help secure their cattle and their safety. What happens, the drug smugglers, and as you know, I heard you talk about it earlier, and I speak about it a lot. We have an opioid crisis in this country. We are losing 200 Americans a year to drugs. There was a huge fentanyl bust that was enough to kill millions of Americans. They drop, or sometimes they airdrop these bundles of drugs over the border, and then they have somebody come by with a truck and pick it up. And, these ranchers are finding these bags of drugs. They have, they talked about how young girls will show up with 3-month-old babies on their doorstep because the coyotes will take their money and just say, hey, walk 20 minutes down the road and you can get help. And, the stories are just horrific. They did show us where President Donald J. Trump is going to commence the wall here in New Mexico. It's going to be 17 miles of wall, and in a critical spot where it's desperately needed. The ranchers said that that they support the president 100%. They've offered their land that the family's owned for 100 years for the president to put his wall on, and they are testament to why this wall is so urgently needed. It's urgently needed. I'll be meeting with Cowboys for Trump later on today. But being here, it's one thing to talk about the wall. It's another thing to have your feet right here and to see it with your eyes. We need that wall, and I support the president 100%. And the folks here they support the president. They believe in him, and they're telling America, we need this wall. We need it now.
Martha, yet every major Democrat running for president is disputing there's any crisis there. We don't need to do anything. That all we need to do is just give everybody asylum so they're safe. I mean, how do you respond to that?
I'm here right now. While we were here, we saw smugglers off into the distance. They saw us. They saw the cameras. They saw Border Patrol that was there with us and our security folks, and they fled. I mean, this is to see the fear. One of the moms said, we're here right now. She said, I wish there was a way that we could photograph the fear I have in my heart every single day for my family. I mean, this is an outrage. I mean, we have to secure our borders, and they were so grateful. They said, finally, we have a president that's taking this wall seriously, that's doing something to secure our country, to give safety to our families. And one of the ranch moms there, the Johnson family, she said, look, if I waited for the government for this wall all these years, I'd be dead by now. I mean, their family has been securing this fence, and there's not much to it for literally decades. And they are just so grateful to the president for finally we have a president that loves our country, that loves America, wants to make America first, and is building this wall.
So they basically, that family you're with, that rancher family, Martha, they basically put up their own wall.
Yes, they did, and they not only is it a line of delineation between Mexico and the United States, but as they said, the diseases that the cattle from Mexico can bring in, it can wipe out their entire cattle, their livelihood. It can destroy their ability to support their family. And so they do that. They are often faced with a predicament where, there are sensors that go off along the border, but the border, and this is not a complaint against Border Patrol. I've met the Border Patrol since I've been here. We've talked to many of them. These are hardworking Americans, hardworking men and women. They're doing the best they can. There's just not enough of them. Because without a wall, this is just a fence. Let me be clear. These ranchers, it's just a ranch fence with wire to keep livestock out and to delineate their farm from Mexico. You would literally have to have Border Patrol lined up every so many feet to protect it. There's just not enough manpower. And that's why we need a wall. If you listen to Pelosi says, oh, well, we're just going to put some drones up. We'll put up some cameras. We'll use satellite GPS. That doesn't do anything. That literally doesn't. By the time somebody an alarm would be set off. By the time they would see something, it would be too late. They'd be gone.
Right.
And all those drugs are just pouring into our nation. And so, for the Democrats and those that do not believe we need a wall, you haven't been to the wall. You haven't talked to these hardworking Americans that every day live in fear, that every day, their cattle are stolen. They're worried about the drugs coming in, pouring into this country. I mean, you don't live with these families here. You don't see it. I mean, we physically saw the runners off into the distance. And we are in a state of crisis. This is an emergency.
So the president's saying that there's such a crisis down there. Look, Martha, we were saying this all day, even Jay Johnson, the former Secretary of Homeland Security for President Obama, went on TV Sunday and said, this crisis is bigger than anything he ever witnessed as DHS Secretary. Now the president's saying, look, if I don't get cooperation from Guatemala, Colombia, Honduras, and Mexico, I'm just going to shut the whole southern border down. I'm just shutting it down. I'm bringing the military in. It's done until we figure it out. How is that? What's the reaction for the people that you're talking to on the border to that prospect, Martha Boneta?
They're saying shut it down. While I was doing the interview, I mean, we were chanting, shut it down, because here's the thing: something needs to be done. Something needs to be done, and those that don't think it's a crisis aren't here. They're not here with these beautiful ranch families, these hardworking Americans that feed our nation. I mean, these are the people that feed our nation, and they're literally living in absolute fear. And and yet they are themselves with their families. Their ranchers are securing the border themselves the best they can, the best they know how, and to support these Border Patrol agents that there's just not enough of them. There's just not enough of them. And so, right now we have our Border Patrol that are so busy going through the process of these stations here. Several of the stations here, by the way, are shut down, the Border Patrol stations, because all of their men, all of their hardworking Border Patrol agents have been sent to the processing areas because of the overwhelming number of people seeking asylum that are coming to our nation now. And let's be clear about seeking asylum. One of the busts that they did had enough ammunition, I don't remember how much, but enough ammunition and guns they wanted to bring into the country. I'm sorry. Those are people that want to come and kill Americans. They're not coming for asylum. They're being caught with drugs and guns. And I mean, this is, I'm here right now, and I just want everybody to know this is a serious issue. This is not just a serious issue. It's a crisis. This is an emergency. And being here, if I was my third time here, this is an emergency. Shut it down. If the president has to shut it down, shut it down. We need to do something. And if that's what it takes, he has the complete support of the people living here right now. Wow.
All right. I think that's quite an update you've got going on down there, Martha. Now, what organization are you with?
So I'm here for a couple of different reasons. The Christian Times Magazine, it's read by Christians all over the world.
Right.
They have asked me to report from here, but I'm here because of supporting the platform of the president on securing our borders. I'm here to support the America First agenda, and I'm here for Vote America First. And
excellent.
Vote America First works with Americans all over the country to help elect candidates that support the president's platform, that support an America First agenda, that believe in the American dream, that love America, and want to support good, strong policy that makes sure we continue to have the American dream alive and well for generations to come.
All right. Vote America First. Sounds excellent. Now, I understand, rumor has it, you're going to be guest hosting my show Tuesday, April 16th, right?
Correct. And I have a surprise guest that everybody's going to be just blown away by. You know who it is. I have to wait until after the election before I can say publicly that he's going to be on your show. But there's an election on April 9th. After that, I can tell the world that he's going to be on your show. But, yes, I'm very excited. Whenever I'm on the John Fredericks show, I bring just an incredible lineup of speakers, and I'm really excited. This will be the best show I have ever done on John Fredericks' show.
Well, they're all good, Martha. We appreciate that as I go on. Spring break. So Martha Boneta live and in studio in the captain's chair on Tuesday, April 16th. Don't want to miss that. Martha, I'm out of time. Martha Boneta, thank you for that great interview, that great update, at the border. And you can follow her on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
It's Paris Barnes. Paris is where my farm is in Paris, Virginia, and Barnes, like a barn on a farm. And then on Facebook, I've been doing live feeds with interviews. As we do the interviews, I have somebody also live streaming them for me. So Facebook, Paris Barnes, or just Google Martha Boneta and search for Martha Boneta, and it'll all pull up.
And Twitter, you can follow her at Paris Barnes, Martha, thank you for being with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.